Welcome to the 10 and 2 podcast. I'm Kat.
I'm Catlin.
And we're here every week talking watches, photography, adventure, and exploring the world of horology.
Y'all, it's another episode of 10 and 2 After Dark.
After dark.
But it's like
early
it's
dark.
The opposite after dark. I love these. I absolutely love these. Like, I've been up for 4 hours. I'm ready to go.
I'm struggling. And I used to be such a morning person too. And I guess since we're working from home now, I get up a little later. I'm always up later at night. Like my bedtime has definitely moved or has shifted, I should say, to 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. But
to the early hours.
Yeah, I don't know. I like, and I've kind of always been that way since I was a kid. I love being up late when everyone else is sleeping. It's very peaceful. I can get a lot done. But yeah, I'm here. I got coffee. We're good. I might sound a little deeper. My voice might be a little deeper than normal, but I'll make it.
It's the opposite of like usual 10 and 2 After Dark. So
I know.
I'm totally.
Can we
I'm
just
all
do
about
10 and
it.
2
like,
normal?
I sound smart this early in the morning. I'm not saying like Travis Scott is a country music star or anything.
Oh my gosh,
like
that was
that.
so funny.
So,
That was hilarious.
Man. I got publicly called out in like horology talk on Facebook over it too, man.
It was so funny because you said it and you totally did not realize.
I had no idea that
You totally did not realize.
Jeez.
I love it.
All right. Well, now I get to be smart. So how are you, Kat, at this early morning hour?
I'm doing good. We've been up early. There's a big exciting release today we're going to talk about later in the show. And
that hasn't been released at the time of this recording.
Yeah, but y'all, we'll talk about it.
We'll get to it.
We'll do some magic. But no, yeah, I think so many people stayed up late for this, and we're kind of bummed out that it wasn't here this morning. So Santa Claus failed, is what I'm going to say, because I felt like a kid at Christmas. You know, I was like, oh, I'm waiting, I can't wait, and yeah, kind of bummed. But
I pity everyone because Omega usually releases their watches, you know, at like 4 or 5 a.m. our time. So I know people who have gotten up at 4 and 5 a.m. to see what was going on.
Yeah.
So
and then like they're really just now kind of put a countdown, so you really didn't know. So I'm sure they've just been up since then, literally refreshing their screen. And
probably
it's okay.
Bless their little hearts.
I know.
We're addicted
to
watches.
Oh my gosh.
We need to see it. We need to be the first people to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But.
Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Work has been insane, but I'm doing pretty well outside of that. So I was going to say, I'm stressing out right now, though, because Tyler's birthday is next Sunday, and I've just like put 2 and 2 together that his birthday is on Sunday. And what do you do? Teenagers don't want anything. They're not fun.
Yeah.
And, like, he doesn't want to do anything, doesn't want anything. It's not fun. So I'm stressing myself out over it. Whatever.
You'll be all right. You'll figure out something.
Yeah.
I remember you went through this last year, too. And
I got through the...
I can't remember what you did. I can't remember now.
I don't even remember. Whatever. It's fine.
All right. Well, let's do a quick wristwatch check. What are you wearing today?
So... because there's some big Omega announcement today, I am wearing my Speedmaster Moonwatch with the moon phase, but I have it on a new strap. So I'm embracing earth tones. I really am.
Ooh.
Like, you've converted me. I'm totally a different person than what I was when I started this podcast.
This is really true, though. Like, straight up. I remember you being like, ew, I can't do brown. Ew.
Ew. So gross. Brown is disgusting. And now I wear brown sweaters and
Embrace the earth.
Yeah. I know this sounds ridiculous. I do my eye makeup in browns and bronzes now instead of blacks and grays. It's a whole thing. It's a whole lifestyle change.
Yeah.
But so since it's fall, because it's definitely fall, it's cold as heck outside this morning. I have it on this brown strap, and this is actually from a company called Straps Co. And they're actually going to sponsor this podcast today. So if you guys wait till later on in the episode, you'll hear us talk a little bit more about Straps Co. But I'm really liking the strap so far.
Yeah.
And they've given us a promo code for our listeners. So they can go to their website, strapsco.com, and enter promo code POD15 and get 15% off their purchase.
Yeah,
which
cool.
I think I'm about to take full advantage of. So
yeah.
Yeah, super excited.
Very cool stuff.
Kat, what about you?
Same. I like with all the Omega news, I put on the Seamaster today, the 300 meter white dial. A lot of people call it the Great White, but I feel weird calling it the Great White because
it's
there's
not the
already
Great White.
Yeah. So I don't know what's the nickname of this one. Do you know? Have you heard anything?
A friend of mine tries to call it the Stormtrooper.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why he does, but yeah, y'all. The Great White was an older white Seamaster GMT. Yeah, so stop calling this one the Great White.
Yeah,
it's different. Because that was actually the watch that I was going to get before I got my Planet Ocean. I really wanted a white dive watch, and I was looking at the Great White for a long time, and I liked that the orange had, on a lot of them, the orange was really, really faded, so it was like a perfectly Tennessee orange. But then right when I was about to purchase it, I remember finding a pretty decent one, I think on Crown and Caliber or something like that. I found the white Planet Ocean at a steal.
Yeah.
So
I think you had the better end of the deal because I think the Planet Ocean's a little bit newer, and I've seen a lot of those Great Whites now. And you talked about not liking the lume being yellowed, and they are definitely it's really yellow and just patinaed.
I definitely agree for sure. Oh. Are we going to talk about...
Yeah, we got to talk about our field trip.
We went on a field trip,
We
y'all.
did.
The very first in October. We had all these plans of all this travel this year.
Yeah.
And Tenn and 2 finally had a field trip all the way in October. Yeah. So we went up to Evansville and we visited our friends over at Brinker's.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing group of people. We had the best time. Ate so much food. Oh my gosh. I will go up there again just to go to that restaurant.
I know. It was so good.
Oh man. But it was really awesome.
Yeah. I was so impressed. I got home and I talked to my husband for 30 minutes to an hour just about our experience up there. They are the nicest people. They have just an incredible setup. They have a full, watchmaking station. They've got watchmakers on staff. They've got jewelry makers on staff. It's crazy. And it's kind of weird because they're kind of in the middle of nowhere. And it's just this incredible place. And I so wish that we had one of these in Nashville. But yeah, we are so excited. We're going to be doing some stuff with them soon. And they are just the loveliest people.
For sure.
Yeah, very passionate about watches, very knowledgeable about watches too. And we got to see some cool stuff while we were up there.
Yeah, we did.
A lot of cool stuff. We can't talk about it just yet, but we are very excited.
Oh, but we did get to see the new Submariner.
We did. Yeah.
So that was quite
What'd you think about it?
I think people who are in an uproar over 1 millimeter case size, they're just being in an uproar for no reason.
Yeah.
I think that, and we actually did compare it to the previous, just recently discontinued Submariner, and there's really not a big difference in how they wear. I'm not the biggest fan of the larger lug size just because for me, I would be irritated if I had all these 20 millimeter straps and then had to go out and buy 21 millimeters. But other than that, I like the thinner lugs. I like the way that it sat on the wrist. It was fine. Yeah. I mean, it's a Submariner. They don't change really all that much, which is one of the things that makes it so iconic. It's kind of like the Moonwatch or something like that. They don't change except for minor details, and you would not notice it.
No, you really wouldn't. I mean, they wear almost the same. In fact, I'd say the new one wears a little bit better. It is definitely more refined. Yeah, the 21 millimeter sucks, but I guarantee you that 95% of people will never even take it off the bracelet.
Oh,
and then
for sure.
Those that do, there are I mean, maybe 5 years ago, there wasn't very many 21 millimeter straps. Now that's not so much the case. So I think it's fine. I really do.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful watch. It's so good. It's so nice. And side by side, the differences are very, very minor for sure.
Yep.
But I was really
I
impressed.
agree.
I'm glad that we got to kind of compare the two.
For sure. Definitely. It was nice that they had that older one on site too.
Yeah.
So that we could actually compare. But this has also been like, well, first of all, we haven't really chatted in a little while, other than I think we had our Q&A episode, but we haven't chatted about some of like the new things that we've been excited about.
Yeah.
So I am super excited because there's been a couple of watch releases before we get to Omega's release that we don't even know about while we're recording right now. There's been some really fun new releases, and the first one that probably the one that I'm most excited about is from our friend Nick at Fears.
I know. So yes, very, very excited about this because, we kind of knew about it for a little bit, not too long, but in something that I don't think we've told anyone is that the images that we got to use for the press release were made specifically for us.
I know. Y'all know we're obsessed with Nicholas from Fears. He is the most dear soul, and I genuinely feel like people are better for knowing him.
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited. You know, we've talked about Fears several times on the podcast. He's been on 2 episodes before. And so very excited to see, honestly, such a positive response to these new releases. And he's just one of these guys who attention to detail is an understatement. First of all, you see that in the watches, every little detail you see in his timepieces, but even so much as to have specifically take a few extra shots of his new watches on female models so that we could use them specifically is just, it's extra, and I love it. I love him. Yeah. Like, absolutely love it. Love that he did that. So he has 2 new releases. He has both are part of the Fears Brunswick collection. First of all, he has the Midas Silver. So we talked about this during when we first interviewed Nick, the Midas collection. And what's really unique about the Midas, it's their gold watch, but it's not actual solid gold. Yeah. So the case is actually made out of bronze. So you have a bronze case, and then he goes and he coats the case in both 18 karat rose gold and 9 karat yellow gold, and it gets this really unique, like, warm gold color. And we got to see one of these when he was in Nashville, and just it's such a unique color. And I'm not a gold person, but that like hint of the pinks to the yellow gold is just absolutely phenomenal. So usually they're limited to, he only produces 5 of these watches a year. But this year, actually, you know, with, I guess, the upside to the COVID situation and the pandemic was that his case maker was able to actually produce 10 of these cases this year. Yeah. So really excited about that. And it features the new numerals, which we'll talk about. I'm super excited for him. Yeah, and I think out of the both the Midas Silver and the Brunswick Salmon, the Salmon has really taken off and been a favorite for many. I know a lot of people were really just oogling over this watch, and it's really stunning. And I'm a sucker for salmon dials too. Like I love them. But yeah, so we talked about, or you mentioned the numerals here. So each one, which it's a new font, but each of the applied numerals on this has been treated like a jewel. So after it's been cut out with a machine to a certain height, I think it's like 0.5 millimeters, they're then diamond polished and then sandblasted to create that perfectly smooth and like matte finish on it, which is just crazy to me that so much work goes into these little details of the watch. And then each numeral is then coated with anthracite, and I mean, it's just it's crazy, and it's just something that you would never know. It's crazy how much detail, and we talk about that a lot with a lot of these independent brands, is they seem to focus on the details a little bit more than the bigger brands do. And that's what makes me really love them a little bit more. But yes, the numerals on this are actually, I think they're called Edwin numerals. I think that's correct. Yeah. And so based on the founder of Fears Watches. But yeah, they created a whole new set of font for these Brunswick watches. And I think they're going to end up using them in some of the other watches as well, and kind of be it like a signature thing for Fears,
which I really do like. And I think like the Brunswick is the essential Fears watch. Like when I think of Fears, I think of the Brunswick initially. And I think it's a good staple for his collection, and I'm glad to see that it's growing.
No, I agree. I think it's definitely the watch that I think of when I think of Fears. Also, these salmon dials, they're all hand finished, which they're all hand brushed. So each one of these dials is unique. But one of the things that I love about Fears is, you know, he's taken this family watch brand that had stopped for quite a few years, restarted it, but if Nicholas puts so much emphasis on history and respecting the heritage that is Fears watches. So the salmon dial is inspired by a lot of the watches that he's seen come into their museum and their archive from the 40s and 50s. And like you were talking about the hands were actually designed based off of watches in the archive. So they were made to be very respectful to what Fears has done in the past, but also kind of blend a more modern feel so that it makes it a little bit more unique for its present and future. I think the most exciting thing is to see how excited people are for these watches.
Yeah.
So both the first and second batch of the Brunswick salmon have already sold out.
Oh my gosh.
And so if you look on his website, he does say the next batch will be they're going to reopen ordering on Saturday, October 10th.
Yeah.
So they will be available. It's just making sure that he has enough watches for the demand. So but I'm very excited for him. I think,
absolutely.
He's somebody who absolutely deserves it. And I'm incredibly excited to see what comes. And we're getting one of these in.
I know.
Which I'm so excited
We're not going to want to send it back.
And also a little nervous. I'm so nervous.
Yeah, I remember when we saw the blue one last year, and I was just completely blown away. So I cannot wait to see this one. And again, just so happy for him and the company, and it makes me really happy to see how much recognition he's getting now. And
agreed.
You know, I think when he first started, there's always going to be some backlash. People don't take well to just any micro brand, but as his story has been told and as he's been able to tell it through different podcasts and media outlets, I think people are falling in love with the brand and him, and I'm just so incredibly happy for him, for sure.
For sure.
All right, so speaking of another, well, kind of British brand, but not really anymore. But
oh Lord,
oh gosh,
oh Lord,
are you gonna go off?
I tried to when I was doing my notes last night, and I got to this topic. I was like, "Dear Catlin, please don't be as mean as you were about the Moser Streamliner."
You were so mean. You were so mean. No, we both were.
I can be very mean about this, but I'm not going. I'm gonna, hashtag what would Dolly do?
Oh,
so. It's the unofficial Tenn motto. Y'all.
It is.
Okay.
All right. So the Tudor Royal.
The Tudor Royal.
This watch came out, about a month or so ago in the Asian market. Maybe a little bit over a month now, but I can't keep up with time. It is now available worldwide. And Tudor released these, I think it was actually, if it was not last week, it was the week before. Again, time, y'all. Sorry. Can't keep up anymore. But basically, it is an updated version of, Tudor used to make the Tudor prints, dates, and stuff like that. And I think this is kind of their newer version, and also kind of their answer to the Datejust, in my opinion, and or the date, if you will, kind of a combination of the two. But before we dive into specs, anything, what's your just overall thoughts on it?
Oh, we're just gonna ask the serious question from the beginning.
Because I think everybody's seen this at this point. We'll talk about some of the specs, but I just want to know what you think.
It hit me last night that it reminds me of a Q-Timex.
Yeah, you told me that, and
minus
I was like,
bezel.
I went and pulled up a picture of the Q-Timex, and I was like, ooh,
Take the bezel off, and the Tudor Royale is just a Q-Timex, y'all.
Yeah.
Come at me. I don't care. Look at them side by side. I get what Tudor's doing. I really do. And it's smart on them. It's smart on them to have a little bit of that dressier watch that can compete with the Datejust. It's no secret that they're affiliated with Rolex. So, of course, they're going to have collections that are fairly similar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, Tudor does stand out on its own. I've always believed that Tudor is its own brand. But it makes sense that they have sort of similar styles in their collections. I'm just not I'm not a fan. Just personally, just from an aesthetic, it has nothing to do with, I love the Tudor movements. I love what Tudor does. But just the overall design aesthetic, I'm not a fan of. I can't get over this bezel either.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what's going on with it. And we haven't seen these in person, so I might be totally like blown away, with it on the wrist or something like that. But initial response is no.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay.
Very fair.
Okay. I felt like that was kind of nice, right?
That wasn't bad. That was very fair.
Okay.
Very fair.
Okay. Kat, what is your first impression?
My first impression was that I immediately didn't like the Roman numerals. I'm not a Roman numeral fan. So because of that, I'm not a fan of this particular watch. I don't mind the case. I don't absolutely love the bezel. I don't love the way they did the fluted bezel here. But I think that they engineered it in a way that would be cheaper to produce, to be honest with you. And so that's probably why I don't like it, because there's not as much detail in it, I don't feel like. Now, Tudor has released 50 versions of this. You called it the Royale. I said Royal. Maybe it is the Royale. My bad.
Oh, no. Did I say Royale? I'm trying not to. Somebody said Royale, and then I was irritated that they said Royale because there's not an E at the end. But since then, I feel like I've been saying Royale.
You did say Royale.
It's Royal. All right.
I was like, oh, damn, did I pronounce it wrong?
Dang it. I'm supposed to be the smart one in the morning.
No, you are. You trust me. You are definitely the smart one this morning. But there's 50 versions between 4 different case sizes. There's a 41, a 38, a 34, and a 28 millimeter version. There's dials that are black, blue, silver, and there's gold tone. There's also some versions that have diamond set hour markers on them. They're all 100 meter water resistance, which I really do like. So that means, to me, it's like, okay, this is a really nice sports watch, dress / sports watch. I like to have a lot of water resistance. And I think with Tudor and Rolex, they're always going to give you that extra care. And I don't know, I can't say if it's a screw down crown, but I probably would assume so. I don't think that they would do that without it. But again, don't quote me on that.
Yes, I'm looking on the website. Screw down crown.
Perfect. Yes.
Look at Kat.
Good job, Tudor. Good job. But so all of these do feature an ETA movement, whether it's the 2834 or the 2824. So standard, but workhorse movement inside. But that also makes the price really, really good. It starts at I think $2,200, just a little bit above that, and then they go all the way up to $3,900 for the steel and gold version. And there's obviously prices in between, but I'm not going to bore you guys talking about each price. You guys can look it up on the website. I do like it. I like the blue. I think the blue in pictures is really, really pretty. I do want to see one in person. Do I like this over a Datejust? No. I think for this price too, that you could probably go buy a vintage Datejust, especially if you like this look. But again, you might have to worry about servicing. You're not going to have maybe a high water resistance. So this is a good value proposition, and I don't think they're bad looking. I don't like them personally. I don't like the Roman numerals. I don't like the way the numerals were cut off for the day on the top either. But again, I don't think it's that bad. I've actually warmed up to it a lot since I first saw it.
Have you?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
All right. Fair enough.
I like the bracelet. I like the integrated look. I think that's really hot
really?
right now. Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of. I'm just not a fan. I guess I'm just not a fan in general. But
it's okay.
I mean, it's fine. But I do like that there are 52 variations, because I like that you get a little bit of everything for everyone. There's nothing more annoying, and there's a lot of hate on watch brands that have tons of variations of the same watch. But how annoying is it when you really want this watch, you fall in love with this watch, but man, they don't do this dial color in your perfect size.
Yeah.
They do the dial color in the 42, but they don't do it in the 38. So here you have one dial color in every single size. That way you can get, as much variety as you can imagine out of it. And I have a lot of respect for that. I think it's phenomenal in that kind of aspect. Like I said, I mean, I'm not hating on Tudor for doing it. Yeah. It's definitely better than the PL1 that they did last year. So it's fine. It's not my cup of tea. If I was looking for a watch kind of similar to this style, that Datejust style, there's a few other options I would definitely pick work before this. But they do phenomenally well at their price point.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, and Tudors are usually always, in my experience, very good quality, especially since they've kind of been reinvented. I think the quality level has gone up a lot. And,
sure.
this is like what Tudor was doing pre-Black Bay. I think this is the style of stuff they were doing that were kind of funky and weird. And I'm kind of happy to see them play around with stuff like this again. I still want them to expand their sports line, obviously, but it's good to know that they're okay experimenting with stuff like this too, because I don't think they have anything like this in their catalog right now. So, I think the Black Bay, the line in general has just been overdone a little bit, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. Just all the Black Bay divers, and then but you know what I'm talking about, the non-diver, Black Bays, and then they've got like two-tones, and they all of them kind of look. Aesthetically, they look the same. They have the snowflake hands, and so this is something that's just like really, really different. And they have so many offerings for everyone that I think it's a really good addition to what they already have. Cool.
I agree.
And now for a message from our sponsor and friends at Straps Co. They say variety is a spice of life, and that is most definitely true when it comes to changing up the look of your watch with a new band. Straps Co. has a huge selection of watch straps and bracelets to cover all of your timepiece needs. With a diverse variety of sizes, strap types, and materials, you're sure to find exactly the perfect new strap or bracelet to complement your watch perfectly. Additionally, Straps Co. offers not only free shipping worldwide, but also a continuous buy two, get one free promotion on everything sold through their website. As a special promotion for 10 and 2 listeners, Straps Co. is offering an additional 15% off your purchase with the promo code POD15, which can even be combined with their buy two, get one free offer. Head over to their website, strapsco.com, to see a wide variety of options for all watch types, and be sure to use the promo code POD15. That's www.strapsco.com, promo code POD15.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk Seiko. Seiko. I'm obsessing. I don't need to be obsessing.
I know.
But I'm obsessing over the new Seiko Prospex Ice Diver.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, the love of my life right now is the SPB 175, which is the gray waffle dial with the dark gray bezel. And then there's this just like baby blue on the second hand that I'm obsessing over.
It's so good. Like I that was a definite favorite for me as well. God, I can't talk. I do like the baby blue, the SPB 179, but again, I think that gray bezel, though, it looks so freaking good. And I love like a ghosted bezel and just like that whole look, and this gives off that vibe. So yeah, Seiko released these Prospex divers, and they were only available for the US. Unfortunately, so sorry, guys. But I'm sure you'll be able to find them.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I'm sure you'll be able to find them like on the forums and stuff, so just keep your eye out. But so 3 new limited editions. Now, Seiko, I guess they kind of grabbed their, oh gosh, I'm going to mispronounce these names. The inspiration for these comes from Naomi Yumura, and I'm so sorry if I butchered that. And he was the first person to complete a solo dog sled run to the North Pole. And then also from, Yuichiro Miura, and again, I totally butchered that, I know, and he was the oldest man to scale Mount Everest, but they both wore Seiko divers. So for me, I love the fact that like a dive watch for me is the ultimate explorer's watch. These are two explorers, and they wore divers, and I love that so much. And I know that divers haven't really been around for a while. For Seiko, they've only been around since the mid 60s. But I love that they wore what I considered the ultimate tool watch to do these things. And I'm so glad that they kind of gained some inspiration for these from those two guys. If we can count on anything, Seiko and Grand Seiko, they're always going to have the best stories behind their watches. And people we make fun of them for it, but I always kind of love it too. I'm a sucker.
But I love the
I'm
story.
a total sucker.
I'm definitely a sucker for a story. Don't, any salesperson I deal with, don't tell me specifics. I already know them. I can Google them. Tell me like some cheesy story. And I'm like, oh my God, I need this in my life.
I know. You're like, oh, this is from the Japanese blossom tree. I want it.
Need it. We have cherry blossoms in Nashville. What are you
I know
about?
we do.
I need it. It'll remind me of the cherry blossom trees that got removed.
I know.
That was there was that whole Nashville scandal.
Yeah. Oh man. Were we recording our podcast during that time? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Was that pre? I think that was pre us.
That was during the NFL draft.
Yeah.
No, that was during.
Was that?
Yes, that was during the NFL draft. So for those of you guys who don't know, Nashville hosted the NFL draft last year because we did. I think it was last year. And Nashville has we have a riverfront area, and there are these absolutely beautiful Japanese cherry blossoms that have been there forever. And good old Nashville decided to remove quite a few of them to make more room for the draft stage and whatnot.
It caused quite an uproar in Nashville, but the trees were replanted. They were taken care of. Some died.
I like how Kat's trying to justify. She secretly works for the city.
No, I don't at all. I just remember how. So I knew someone that worked for like the parks and park services for Nashville, and they were responsible for removing the trees, and it was like they were getting like the dirtiest looks out there, and I felt so bad for those people.
Because us old Nashville, the city's divided between old Nashville and new Nashville.
Yeah,
and there's no middle ground.
Yeah.
Anyways, all that to say, I would totally buy the cherry blossom because it would just remind me of that.
And there's not a cherry blossom of this series. Sorry, y'all. We just got really distracted.
What are we talking about? Oh my God.
I don't even know.
Y'all.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So there's three dial versions. Of course, we talked about our favorite. Kat mentioned there's like an ice baby blue dial that has like a navy blue bezel, which is gorgeous as well. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, because it's 2020 and the official color of 2020 is green, apparently, there is a green dial, green bezel version of it as well.
Well, and I will say that, like, this is not my green. I normally I'm like a huge green fan, but this is not my green. But these watches come in at 45 millimeters, which is big, but don't count it off just yet because Seiko does some magic on the wrist. So I'm excited to see these in person, and I think we just got an email. It looks like we might be getting one or two of these. So.
We are totally. I was about to say. We are totally getting one of these.
Yeah,
so I cannot wait.
We'll hopefully get to do some reviews of these for sure for you guys because we were very excited about them. I love that Seiko is advertising these for more than just diving, and it's an explorer's watch, and I want to see more of that. For sure. And it's an ISO standard, 200 meter water resistance, unidirectional bezel. And best part about it, they're priced at $900. Like, to me, that's not bad for this watch. It's got the 6R35 movement inside. You got a bracelet. I think this is actually a very fair price watch for Seiko.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of comments lately about Seiko and their pricing. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of concern about Seiko kind of overpricing and continuing to increase their pricing.
Yeah.
But look, they make watches, genuinely they make watches in every price point. If you're still looking for that watch that's a couple $100, that's what the Seiko 5 is. And you can get that, if you go to Macy's and buy it brand new, it's going to cost you like $300.
Yeah.
But you can definitely find those much cheaper. Online and things like that. They still have those entry-level watches.
Yeah.
But also the problem is for a lot of us who are watch people, we expect a different quality than those entry-level watches offer. So that's where a dive watch like this comes to play. That's where watches like the Arnie come to play. Like, we want more, but we don't want, like, I don't want to have to buy a Submariner to get like a really good quality dive watch either. So I have I don't mind the way that they're doing their pricing. I think that they still are offering so much for that entry level, and for the person who just wants like a beater Seiko, that they can mix in with their collection to do whatever with. They still make that.
Yeah.
But they're also making stuff for people who appreciate a higher quality, a better movement, things like that.
Yeah, I think this watch, if it had said Swiss made on the dial, it would easily be $1,500, $2,000. So
I do wish there was a ceramic bezel on here, though.
I do too. But I don't hate on, the aluminum bezels because, my Tudor has one. And I think over time, if you're someone that likes patina, I think that they can fade and be really beautiful. So I think that gray bezel too, like in 10, 15 years, you know how cool that would look? Like, very cool.
Extra ghosted.
But yeah, we're very excited. We'll get to do a review on these, and we'll talk a little bit more about them soon.
Awesome.
All right, so final on our list.
Final. I was wondering how you were gonna introduce.
I don't know. Like because 10 hours later, we need that like SpongeBob thing, do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yes. 6 hours later, Catlin had to go to work. Come back.
It's been a whole day.
It
almost is 10 and 2 after dark again.
Oh man, Kat's fully awake now.
Yeah. I'm in go mode. I'm so excited. Like the coffee's kicked in. I've had a couple meals.
Oh man, I'm eating a granola bar today.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a struggle. I'm so hungry, but we're good. We'll get through this, and then I'm gonna go pig out. But I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Omega did not let us down.
No, they didn't. And I was worried. I was really scared. I was really scared
too.
Because I saw them totally doing some precious metal 50th anniversary watch that was going to be super stupid expensive, and I was going to be like, oh, even though like I may or may not have wanted it, it was just going to be a bummer. But man, this is not a bummer.
No, and I thought the same thing. Like I thought 50th anniversary, it's going to be, ridiculously expensive, and or realistically, the last Snoopy was so iconic. The silver Snoopy was just, I mean, nobody could have predicted what it's done as far as selling out so quickly and reselling up to, I think at one point I saw it going for 28,000. Yeah, nobody could have predicted that.
No.
But Omega did so good, and I'm so excited. So, okay, I'm sure everybody on Earth has seen these photos by now.
Yeah.
So we probably don't have to go into too much detail about like what the watch looks like. I kind of love that they're rocking out this blue steel sports watch look.
Yeah, I really love it. So I'm a huge fan of the white dial, the broad arrow Speedmaster that's white with the blued numerals. And so this kind of like gives me a little bit of that vibe. I know the numeral or the indices here. I'm sorry, and I said numerals. I meant indices. The indices here are PVD, but it kind of like I love that blue, that color blue that they use. I think it's so universal. I think it's blue, but it's not really masculine either. So I think this really works for everyone. Because let's face it, like women love dogs and Snoopy and Charlie Brown, and like even if a woman didn't know anything about NASA, she would still be attracted to this watch.
I agree. Yeah, the color blue is perfect.
Yeah.
But then also there's a blue ceramic bezel.
Yeah.
Thank you, Omega, for
Yeah.
bringing out ceramic bezels to the Speedmaster. And as a nod to watch enthusiasts, it's a .over-90 Speedmaster bezel.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that like kind of throwback to more of a vintage style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that, man, I can't wait to see this in person because I think it's just going to I think it's going to shine and pop unlike some of the other Speedmasters.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
I fully agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead. We're
right.
so excited. Like we're not together. We're just like I'm like jumping out of my seat.
So let's do this. When this watch first released, and we found out it was $9,600. So
10 hours ago.
Traditional 10 hours ago. Not even like
Not
6
even.
hours ago. So when we found out it was $9,600, 42 millimeter. Now it does have the 3861 caliber, which is not the traditional manual wound caliber. It's Omega's it's their master chronometer. anti-magnetic movement, which I like. We saw this with the Apollo 50th anniversary, the Apollo 11, so it's nothing new. But there was no gold to it.
Yeah.
There was no precious material. And I was like, where is this number coming from? What the hell is going on? How did they get $9,600 for a stainless steel watch, not even on bracelet?
Yeah.
But y'all, then you turn it
second.
around. It took us a while. And then I saw this video and now I'm sold. I'm so in love with this watch. It's ridiculous. The case back. And it's not just, so the case back has the moon, it has a globe, and then it actually has Snoopy on the little space shuttle. And the globe, so the Earth actually does a full axis every 60 seconds. It's powered by the small seconds. But then when you operate the chronograph, the Snoopy actually makes a full rotation around. And we're so dorky about this, y'all. In case you can't hear it in our voice. So
it's dorky. Cute and adorable.
It is. Let's bring back cute and adorable.
Yeah. It's definitely cute and freaking adorable. Like, I saw Snoopy flying and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and no one had talked about it, I think, first, like, early on when it was first released. So I had no clue until you sent me that video. And then I immediately, like, I took my phone and I ran downstairs and showed my husband. I was like, oh my gosh, you got to see this.
I will link that video in the show notes. Oh, I agree. First of all, like, technologically speaking, that has to be such a difficult thing to achieve. I mean, just the gearing and the adjustment to the movements and things like that would have to be done. So to me, I do see the justification in the price increase. This is an extra complication. Like, let's just be honest, whether it's pointless or not, it is an extra complication. It's just like, you know, Jacques Pedro when they do like the birds that flap the wings or, you know, anything like that. Like, the moon phase is practical, dang it. I don't know how, but I'm still convinced it's practical. I said it was a full moon like 3 nights ago, and my moon phase said it was like no moon.
Totally off.
It's like, oh, dang it. Way off. No, but this is it's an extra complication. So once I saw that, I definitely, and I feel like it takes knowing that to really understand where Omega grabbed this price point from. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I totally agree. I think once I saw the case back, I felt like the price was definitely more justified. It is still on the higher end. For me, I would have liked to have seen a bracelet with it. But I still think it's so cool, and I think that it's going to be hard to get. I think that if you can get one, you should. And then let me see it.
And then send it to Tenn for a review, and we promise we'll get it back to you.
No, I'm so smitten with it. I really, really am. It's hard for me to say anything bad about it because I love it so much, and I was such a fan of the other one, and gosh, I think they really nailed it. I think they did. And even though I think it'll be hard to get, I still think that it'll be so much more available because it's not a limited edition too. So I think it'll be in the hands of a lot more people.
Oh yeah, I agree. Well, so let's chat. What do you think about the fact that it looks like Omega is really kind of steering away from the limited editions? Because we look at the new James Bond watch was not a limited edition piece. The America's Cup Planet Ocean that came out earlier was not limited edition.
Yeah.
That Necton 300 meter was not limited edition. Or the very specific Dark Side Alinge was not limited edition. And that's a very specific watch for sure.
Very true.
And I know there's been a lot of hate about Omega, you know, not hate necessarily, but a lot of trash talking and kind of bickering about the fact that, oh, it's another Omega limited edition. And now it seems like they're not. Yeah, and they're not limited. But how do we feel about availability? Because nobody has a clear answer on how many of these watches are going to be made. You know, these are not going to just sit around in a boutique or like in a showcase somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost easier when they're limited edition because you know there's a finite amount. And if you want one, you need to get one. Versus I feel like this kind of encourages people to wait. And my concern is it's going to take a while.
Like, where Omega starts putting people on lists and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't love that. And I think it's one of those things that all of those watches you listed have come out in the last year and a half. And I think it's going to be a time will tell, like how long they produce these, how long the production lasts, and how many they kind of make of each. And popularity is a big thing. I think the Bond watch is going to do extremely well. I think this is going to do extremely well. The Alinghi, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't love the idea that like, is Omega turning into kind of a Rolex thing where people are going to be on lists for years and years? I don't know.
The 321s are not limited. How
true.
could I forget those?
Yeah.
They're not limited edition, but nobody's got one.
Well, but they have said like that they've said up front that production was going to be limited with those. They haven't really said that with these, so
yeah.
But they've been hush hush about it, which I don't like either. So we'll see.
Omega,
why are you
so
secretive?
Secrets?
Bring us all the Snoopies.
I can see Kat like raising her fist in the air right now.
With the picket sign, really, bring us the Snoopies.
She's jazzed up on some coffee.
I've had some candy too.
Oh, Lord.
It's been a day.
Oh, Lord. Coffee and candy. She's ready to go. This is much different than 7 a.m. Kat.
I know. It's going to be like a totally different episode this last half.
Oh man. Well, and I love, so during this video that I had sent to you, and I'll link it in the show notes, they go over the limited edition, the presentation box, not limited edition, sorry. They go over the presentation box, and freaking Omega nails boxes.
I know, they do.
I know that they're huge and they take up so much freaking space. Trust me, I have a closet with several of them in there.
Yeah.
But they nail them, and the box is so neat. And so it has this beautiful blue like mission control box. It almost looks like the regular Moonwatch box, but it's blue and a little bit smaller. And then it has just like a travel case on the inside of it. And I just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I agree. I would have liked to have seen a bracelet. Or at least like what Omega does with some of their pieces is they'll sell it on a strap, but then they include like a bracelet and a NATO and whatever.
A NATO would have been really cool with this one too.
Ooh, I mean, obviously, like it looks like a pretty standard Moonwatch case. So I'm sure last year's Apollo 11 bracelet would fit on there, which would be pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Or a traditional Speedmaster bracelet, or any number of aftermarket bracelets. Strap is super cool too, because it actually has the trajectory of the mission embossed on the lining, and that is so dang cool.
Yeah,
I'm just nerding out.
Yeah,
I have the biggest smile on my face.
I mean, yeah, Omega's always like, they're always going to be one to pay attention to those little details and put little, you can call them Easter eggs and things like that around the watch. And they did it with the Bond, and there's so many little finite details to it. And yeah, I know we both said like we want more like Earth conservative travel cases and things like that. But when you get a big box and it's like so nice. I'm not gonna lie, like,
we're hypocrites,
awesome.
Y'all.
We are.
We admit to that. I will say, you and I fully admit at any point in time to being complete hypocrites.
Yeah.
And I feel like as long as we're upfront with you guys, look, we're gonna be transparent about everything that we do, including the fact that we're complete hypocrites.
Yeah.
So save the
Can we be
environment.
both? Are we allowed to be both?
Can we?
No, I just adore it. It's so cute. And so the Snoopy that's on the subdial on this one is actually like a copy of the silver Snoopy pin that they received back in 1970. So I thought that was cool too, that it was an identical replica of that image. But yeah, man, Omega hit this one out of the park. Like,
awesome. Well, this has been a long and exciting day.
It's been a long episode.
It feels like a long episode because it's taken us 6 hours to record the whole thing. But it has been an extremely exciting day, and let us know like what you think of the Snoopy. We're very curious to see what you guys think of it, and if you like it better than the last edition.
Yeah.
I think
Do you like it better than the last edition? I like the 45th better, I think.
I feel like I love this case back so much. I really do. But I don't know that you can beat the loom on the last one.
Snoopy was
because
loomed.
you had the fully loomed Snoopy, and I think that was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a tough one.
It's very tough. I want to see this one in person.
Now, I think it might be a little harder for collectors with this one because this one does have that very like the first CK2998 feel. A friend of mine, he had mentioned that pretty early on. But yeah, I mean, I think that it might, but I mean, it's Snoopy, so
yeah,
it's still different. So,
yeah, definitely.
but yeah, for sure.
Well, that about wraps us up for today. Sorry, you guys, that Caitlin's audio didn't come through well on that last little bit. We had some mic difficulties when she came back. But thanks again, everyone, for listening. And you can find us at www.tennand2.com. On YouTube, if that's your jam, at 10and2, and Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at 10and2 Media. As always, we appreciate you guys listening every week, and we hope you enjoy the show. Bye.